Good morning. Welcome to Sunday morning coffee number 170. We're in a different location today. My kitchen! Because I was getting annoyed about the darkness of the living room, so I thought we'd come in here. And I thought, the backdrop in the kitchen's rubbish. I like my rainbow backdrop. But this is pretty cool, actually. Got some of the plants. Got a bit of water propagation there. Got the what's it called, painting going on there, hand of God thing with tiny hands. Got my castle fridge magnet collection, which is very specific, by the way. I must introduce you to this. So I have been shorn as well. I have a rule for castle fridge magnets, so I have something to look for in a gift shop because unless apart from books, obviously. But I like to get something. But to stop me from buying lots of things, my quest at every castle gift shop is that it has to be a fridge magnet, but it has to have a photograph on it. It did used to be that sort of style, but then Lincoln Castle had it slightly different, and I thought I'll go for it. And this, I'm not even sure if it counts as a castle, but it's in there. It's in there. So I can't get them, according to law. I can't get them if they're a moulded shape of the castle or anything, which has cut down and makes it look like I haven't visited many castles because most either don't have a gift shop because they're ruins or they have the wrong kinds. I might have to open it up a bit and allow different types of fridge magnet, but that's for another day. As there's a small insight into my life. As for more insights into my life, I am a few minutes late, and I've been thinking recently about the intro song to Friends, and how I'm resonating with that at the moment. The hasn't been your day, week, month, or year, as I knocked my coffee all over myself just as I sat down. I went, let's do this, and then spilled coffee all over myself. So there we go. There is a lot to talk about. Anyone who has not been here before, say an extra hello. I did promise that it'd be a Kickstarter Q&A, but you actually have to listen to me talking about crap for a bit before we get to the juice of the thing. As I put in the promo today, how is Annie? Oh yes, so I've had a haircut. Part of me is not sure, but I do like it. I think it's because I've lost all the colour now, because all the end bit. But I was in a cut it all off myself mood, so I thought I would go and get a professional to do it. So it's much better than what it would have been. And I got the little bit there as well kept. Look at that. She said I have very nice hair, so well, yeah, so it's got that going on. Oh yeah, I did get the test. I forgot to rub it off because I might get it rainbowed for salute. I'm not sure. I have a look to maintain, don't I? I've got to get people to buy more Raging Annies to keep up with the hair. That's why. That's why. But yes, thank you for all the hair compliments. I've also got better lighting in here, you see, so you can really see. It is confusing me because I keep going to get it out of the way and it's not there. But yeah, so that was my little treat to myself yesterday. Where shall we begin? I need a little jingles for different sections, so I need I need to get Rem onto it from Andy and Rem to do a Annie's rant of the week. Oh, Gary Guy wants a mug reveal. This shows my mood when I was thinking, what mug shall I get today? This is the theme again. I'm just gonna have to accept it, Tom Nook. Forever in debt. Annie's rant of the week. I live in a rented house, and ever since I've been here, a bit falls apart every now and again. Every now and then it falls apart, and I have to miss work, and it sucks. So the latest. So I missed obviously all the time with the loft. I've been missing a lot of time off work because of weird things that are happening to my house, which isn't even my house, that I pay an extortionate amount of rent 4 and I'm barely here. So the sewer thing was like a week off work. And I thought, well, back to normal. And then the boiler exploded the other day, although it didn't fully explode. That's dramatic, but it was leaking water everywhere upstairs. So that was 2 days, although Andy did the duty on one of the days because it was day 2 of the Kickstarter. I was like, I can't miss all this time. So the man has come and he has replaced huge chunks of the boiler. But before that, I realised that the boiler had leaked onto all of my spare bedding, which has then gone mouldy, which Mum then hung up on the line to get some of the excess water off. But maybe didn't hang it up that well because then it had all fallen on the floor, so then it had absorbed all the mud, and now I'm constantly having to wash them all, but they all look like they're still a bit moldy and I'm not sure if I can use them again, whether to take the risk of making my entire bed moldy or not. And then 5 minutes before the show, just before I spilt coffee over myself, for the last couple of weeks, my garden fence is falling into next door's garden. They're very frightened by it, as it is about to smash all over their garden. The guy who's supposed to come Tuesday, he phoned just now and went, right, I'm on my way to have a peek at it. And I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm doing Sunday morning coffee. Well, a meeting, which it is. I was like, I can't move this. This is a vital Sunday morning coffee. So he was very abrupt and grumpy, and then said it probably won't be because Tuesday I have to take off whilst the man fixes the fence. And I thought, so I planned around that. And he said it might not be Tuesday, it might be Wednesday. Wednesday I have booked off because all of my guinea pigs are ill, so I have to take all the guinea pigs to the vet, which is going to be expensive because 3 of them are going in. I'm going to try and sneak the 4th pig in and just do the old, nothing weird about that. That one looks fine. Nini is the major concern because it looks like she has a tumour, and I say that like tumour because everything is on fire. Hopefully it's not, but it is not good. It's not a good feel in there as a pig lump expert. So she's going in. Karen's going in for a weeing. Dave's going in for his eye. He's got a big eye lump. So yeah, I was like, I can't be in for the fence on Wednesday because I've got to take all the pigs to the vet, and then the fence is going to fall down, and then next door, because next door's landlord is going, why aren't you fixing the fence? So yes, so apologies for Annie's rant of the week as the start. So I've been trying to manage all that as well as not being in the office where all of my files, because I'm a rubbish person that doesn't have everything clouded. So a lot of it is, but just bits of info and things that I need are on the office computer, it is a laptop, but it's in its final days, so it's kind of attached to a million other things via wires, and it's not very portable. So yeah, that's been happening. Meanwhile, the Kickstarter has been running and has not been hitting the targets that it is required to hit. But we will go into that. That's why Friday I went, I'm going to get a haircut. I'm going to do that. So yes. I like this, that they did a thingy there. I quite like that. So there's that. So at least amongst all my rage, I'm not snagging my hair on things, which is what I was doing a lot because it was so long. Yes. Welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee. Forever in debt. I will be talking a lot about the Kickstarter. If you're on a computer, I'd recommend another tab or a phone. You don't have to. It's just I'm going to talk through some of the Kickstarter in a bit. So if you've got a visual, it helps. But if you're just listening and painting stuff, it's fine as well. So don't worry too much. But if you can, then you've got a reference. I've also got some more bits to show you for it as well. Forever in debt. Also, I rescued a bit of plant from Fenris, but I don't know if he's here. I didn't see him. They're not working. They're not working. They do look like you should go. That's bits of perlite, not mould or anything. It's very thick. I think it might be too thick to propagate. It was a very mouldy Sansevieria, and I've pruned some bits off it. Calloused for a week, but as soon as I've put in water, it's just sad little. They're not even in water. They're on top of wet perlite, but I don't think they're going to make it. It was a last ditch, to be fair. I didn't think they would. I thought the little one would. I thought the little cigar piece might, but it's not looking happy about life. It's me as a plant. I'm liking my hair now. I'm liking it at this angle because I can see it looks good here. So what have we got? Kickstarter. Quickly, I met. Oh yeah, after the show. Despite everything going on fire, I am in a slight perky mood. I think it's the kitchen. It's nice and bright. I did meet Eleanor Aquitaine after the show last week. She was lovely. I had lots of questions for her about her life, and she was very informative. And she also gave a really good talk about Sherwood Forest and all the different trees of Sherwood Forest and the history of Sherwood Forest, and it being a pass-through. I can pass this information to you. About how you could pass through it, but you couldn't hunt from it unless you were a noble. But there was a forest next to it, or lots of little forests next to it, that you were allowed to hunt in. But if you hunted in that, and then you had to go home through Sherwood Forest, don't want to get caught, because then you'd be like, that'd be my luck as well. Go in. Oh, I didn't even get it from this woods. Prove it. I can't. We will kill you now. So. Yeah, so that was really good. I had a wicked day. Those 3 days of learning race. It did mean that I had to sleep all of Monday. I went for a little nap and woke up in the afternoon and went. So I was prepping the Kickstarter. That's why the Kickstarter launched at 20 past. As I was still building it, basically. And now it's raining again. I kind of want the fence to fall over just to teach them a lesson. If it falls over, it's going to cost them way more to fix it. But if they'd just come when I first said that it was falling over, it would have cost them less. Oh, and the man who fixed the boiler had the biggest swears I've ever heard. And I maybe sometimes I might say like drat or damn it or something as a wild swear, as you know me very well. But blooming heck, swearing. He called that boiler all the names under the sun. It was actually a bit daunting because it's that whole man aggression thing. Thinking, I'm having a day off while this guy just like F's and Jeffs at my boiler. I'm pretty sure I could hear him just kicking it at some point as well. And I did have to help him reinstall it, which I didn't think was a health and safety very much, as I stood on a chair with wet feet, helping him get it back into the thing while he swore and called it all sorts. So yeah, that was also interesting. But yeah, since I've been here, the amount of different men that have come to fix different parts is absolutely wild. What we got? Oh no, Daniel went to a flea market and it was just full of fleas. Yeah. We're in debt. Sorry, it's 14 minutes and I haven't said anything about Bad Squiddo. I've got someone to talk to. The screen is all I have. Yeah. Jez says swearing at stuff is how you fix it. The tools are merely decorative. What was extra wild is that he swore kind of from the start, not just the swearing, obviously. I may swear a little bit more than I said. It was the rage. He didn't, start fixing it, then rage. He began with rage. I thought, does he just do that from house to house? Just go, goddamn boilers. Who knows? And we don't use the boiler because we can't afford to use the boiler because we boil the kettle instead anyway. So I said, you might as well just take it out and give us a cupboard. This is my cry festival. So, Oh yeah, and the fact that don't. It's just like, yeah, just take a day off. Take a day off here. So you've got nothing else to be doing. No, no. And I take the days off usually over Andy because Andy gets in trouble at work if he has too many days off as well. So, but yeah, it's just mad. So anyway, currently running a Kickstarter. It's called My Last Sunrise 2. It's a sequel to My Last Sunrise 1. It is very horror themed, but has adjacent things that, even if you don't play horror, are actually useful. It has funded. It went off to a very nice start, and then it stalled forever and ever. But I don't want to moan. There's a Pandemonium says, I like the look of that work in progress Vampire Hunter. There's another one. Although Shane said I can't show you. I don't know if he's watching this though. Maybe I can show you on the stream. You did say don't post it, I think. You didn't say don't. Oh no, there he is! There he is! Can I show it? Can I show it on here? Oh no, you've just listened to me rant for 15 minutes now. Embarrassed. So I can show it on here. I'll wait for the confirmation because it looks really cool. But yeah, the Vampire Hunters are ace. We are waiting. We're forever in debt. Voorhees is very enamoured with the vampire lady and the vampire pug. Yes. The vampire pug is the champ Max vampire. Oh yeah, he does say making public. It's caught there. So, she's had the one we've got has got the metal chopped off. Again, when I show you stuff on the phone here, it's a bit crap, but there's an idea. Oh, that's not too bad. See, the other room was getting a bit more reflecty. This isn't so bad, actually. See what tabs. So that's one of the Vampire Hunters. So this is going to be the stretch goal after the Vampigs. Also, when I'm in this room, you can't hear Dave typing, but I realised that you can, even from here, you can hear him going. This one, as far as I'm aware, from the Shane, she will have a hat, one of those big floof hats as well. So this one too. So you can't see, but she's got a stake in that hand going like, and yeah, she'll have a big hat on top of it. Ooh. So that's her in progress. I'm going to say other people's names in the show now and see if they're also there lurking. Just random ones. I wonder if Joe's here today. Snag. Oh, I got that to show you actually. That's reminded me. And this is the work in progress. I did post it in one of the hidden bits in Baggy's cave, but this is what will come afterwards, theoretically. So she is the vampire Batwoman, vamp bat. So they turn into different forms. So it's a bit different. No one really does that sort of thing. So that's her as a bat form, and very smartly, if you get both packs, they make a nice diorama. Sorry, it's blurry. Of her running to do some staking. Andrea says to run. Bye. See you next time. Thanks for being here. So yeah, they will be the next ones. Let me just get that. I'm just reminded me actually. Just gonna get the metal. Tell me if any guinea pigs or anything appear while I'm just leaving. Dave, what have I told you about typing when the show's on? What have I told you? Oh, stop typing! Good. Oh yeah. What we got? Let me just move here. So, I've had some metals appear. Mike's seen the tiny hands in the background. There's always tiny hands. It's like a little Easter egg around my house. They actually serve a purpose as well because they're blades. I'm sure none of us are going to fall into the. Well, mind you, we'll get forked by that anyway. But they cover the little blades, and I like that they're doing the whole. Go here. So we've had some casts. Safety hands. Jazz is out of cash. No. But yes, you can. You'll be able to join the pledge manager. When you said IF, I was kind of thinking of like some sort of fans. I was like figure fans. Yeah. But no, in fact, again, even if you don't have the cash or whatever, all the shares are super, super good. Really appreciate it. And that's part of the quest. It's getting people to see the campaign while it's on. So, oh yeah, I'll talk about that in a moment because I've got this dude in my hand and I've got no notes this time, so I'm freestyling. But we have had some metal casts. Turkey Man in all his monstrosity, and I can show you him next to a figure, a painted figure. We get a standard standing figure. So here's one of the vampires. So here is the size of the colossal Turkey Man. So that's the metal. He's a chunk of metal. Turkey Man. So Amy has him at the moment, Warp Fiend. So she'll be painting him, and hopefully you'd be ready by before the end of the Kickstarter. So if you weren't sure on Turkey Man, because he's sculpted in pure green stuff, which is bad for photographing because it's really shiny. So it kind of looks weirdly shiny, and it's not. So at the very least, I think what I might do this afternoon is just spray him white. Either spray him white or ink him, so you can get a better idea. I've never actually held him because a lot of the time I get the sculptors to post direct to the caster. So a lot of the time now, which is good because it means I trust the casters and the sculptors that much. Before I'd have to have a look at the start bit. But it means sometimes I don't actually hold the green because it goes straight there. So I never saw Turkey Man in the flesh till he'd been cast. So yeah, there he is, Turkey Man. Love him. Yeah, and as Amy, I posted around, Amy said she's got a tab open of fresh poultry. So hopefully it'll be nicely grim. I might kind of tempted to have a little go painting him myself, to be fair, because he kind of fits in with my ghoul collection a bit. I might call him an honoured ghoul. Talking of ghouls, Ghoul Man, Ghoul Women's. So these are by Joe, who hasn't revealed himself yet. So maybe he's not here today. So Joe Brumby Snurg, he sculpts most of my animals. He has sculpted some ghouls. And it has been rumoured that I'm doing this entire Kickstarter just to get some more ghouls. Oh no, Tamsin says, before spraying the greens, check with your casters. Yeah, I'm not spraying the greens. No. Just spraying, this is the cast. Just again, metal photographs, a bit rubbish as well, but if you spray them white, there's almost like resin then in photograph in terms. But yeah, spraying greens. Some people do that, but I'm very skeptical of spraying the greens. No. Me going, no. Similar with Joe, he uses, I think I mentioned before, he uses a lot of brown stuff. So his can sometimes be hard to photograph, which is why I went to the casters. Go on, cast them, mold them, cast them, so I can show them in better glory. So I'll definitely, at the very least, ink these, but I kind of want to paint them because it's both work reasons and personal, because I will be adding these to my personal ghoul collection. So again, there's no autofocus on this camera, but you can get an idea. Whoop. So we got, what was it? Hair on that one. What's that? There is guinea pig hair in my life. So there's another one. Again, you can't fully see them, but I'll be putting some pictures up. They're very ghoulish. This one's hard to see because it looks a bit like she's sort of on some dinner plates, but they're not. I just cut the metal bit because it looked bigger, to be fair. It actually wouldn't have been a problem, but it did just look like a big slice of metal underneath. And I like the pools to be sort of as small as possible. But yeah, it'll make sense when you see it properly. But it's just to help her join to the ground. And put your little needs to stand on a cow. Yeah, everything needs to be standing on cows. I am quite tempted just to do a little like cow figure. If you missed last week, there was a theme throughout the ancient India and China section at the British Museum of people just standing on cows, but with no explanation. So I didn't know, and the internet still hasn't answered. I still want answers, but they're just these like little cows going. Oh boy. And they weren't like trampling, they just happened. It's like that whole foot on rock, it was like foot on cow. And I thought that's gone across two cultures. I'm intrigued as to why foot on cow was a thing. Foot on cow. I don't think Joe is here. I would have summoned him by now. Summoned. What we got? No worries, Tom's in. So I have, again, there's no point actually showing you. Ironically, when I do it on Facebook and on my phone, it's to do with the UI, I think, as well. UI, yeah. It does let me autofocus. I did a little unboxing yesterday of these, but these have arrived from John. It's all the ones you've seen painted, basically. I've had the free, which includes the deaf, from Ralph, and then John sent me all these. And what I'm going to do to try and sort of boost the campaign is put them into some scenarios, because I've got my massive collection of terrain. As in other people's terrain for background. I love this one. Again, can't see it, but just focus. I've got all the Bad Squiddo terrain, all painted, but I also have a collection of other people's terrain in the office, and all the bits, all like mats, tufts, to make little scenes. You've probably seen some of the little scenes that I've made before. But I only had 2 painted, so it's kind of the same 2, and I used some of the older ones because part of the Kickstarter is to show people that we have a lot of horror figures. And I think between, My Last Sunrise 1 and 2, there have been some figures and releases that people just aren't aware exist. So that's partly why I do Kickstarters as well, sort of spotlights on things. I was chatting to some people in a sort of paint and chat thing yesterday about oh no, I've just remembered that the fence guy's coming later. He said, "Oh, I might pop in later." Anyway, I don't know why that reminded me. I think I thought, "Oh, have a nice time painting." I'm like, "Oh, the fence man's coming." Just to look, because my letting agency doesn't just send a person to fix the thing; they have to look and quote first. So that's another day off when they have to look and quote. But where was I at? Sorry, rant. Painting things. Yes. So sending a spotlight to the previous undeadies that we have. So I used some of the older figures in bits of terrain, but most of it was kind of as I was leaving the office on Friday, and I was kind of like, need to do a bit more work. But what's these? Because I've got a lot of them in parts, but now that they're photographed for the packaging, they're just kind of sat there in a box. So I'm going to start assembling some. So like the witch's house is all in separate parts. I thought I can kind of blue tack little scenes out of it. So I was doing that with the older figures, and the ogre. The ogre is so cool. And you see the photos where I've kind of just put the ogre in the background of everything, including the Soviets. So she's the one that's kind of like, which is very fun. But now I have 6, 7, 8 of these brand new sculpts, and they're all apart from the Cossack. They're on tiled bases, and I've got. Oh, that reminds me, I've left a bit here at the house, so take that. I've got some sort of dungeon interiors, and I can't remember who it's from. They're German though, and they're very nice. They've got a YouTube. I did a swap with them years ago at Crisis for some yeah, and they gave me the painted parts of Dungeon Flooring, which was really cool. But it means I can make some cool scenes with that, especially things like this vampire with the runic tables. That look cool, right? So it's all the scenes, and I think that would help. I think I've made the mistake of comparing, but so as we get into this, generally the rules are you don't be a downer during a Kickstarter. Gotta keep on plugging, and it is going ace. It's hit the target. It's going ace. But what we do, so I think I wanted to kind of. I know most of you people know you people, so it's very preachy to the converted. But smaller creators, you got to have that money up front. The more that the thing looks complete, the more people back it. So that involves paying the sculptors, paying the casters, paying the painters. So I think pretty much all the Kickstarters I've done, you're the people, have been pretty much to get them into production. So I front the big cost, and then it's just to get the production molds, the casts, sort of, all there. That's a good point from Jez. Put the Kickstarter logo on there as well. True. That just means I've got to save it twice. It's fun. Yeah, I was going to do that actually, and then I wasn't sure, so that's convinced me. Thank you. What was I at? Yeah, so you've got to put all that money down first. So I'm not crying, don't worry, but it's I have an itchy eye. So put the chunk of money down first, so it already involves investing, which kind of goes against what it originally was. That you need money from the Kickstarter to make the thing, which is always why my targets are relatively small. So it's pretty much a rough. That's what it'd take to get them into production. So it's kind of like you pay the end bit. And sometimes I wonder if I put the amount too low, because people think, yes, it's amazing, you must be rolling in money, Annie. They're like, no, it needs to go at least double. I think I worked out it was around 8,000 is my other target, basically, for it to become profitable. Obviously, I wouldn't put the amount to include all of the sculpts and things, because they're already paid for. So it has to be, how do I say, they have to, it has to fund, basically. And the higher the funding goal, when things aren't funded, there's this sort of psychology where people are like, oh, it's not funded, or it can't be very good. And then it sort of struggles. So it's generally better to sort of get that funding out the way, and then you can push with the don't know why I'm doing lots of hand gestures today. Push forwards the excitement. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm gonna have a coffee. But so yeah, while it's been a success, and people then like, oh, this is great. And I think there is a thing where people think, well, you've made the target, so that should do. I know. The real target's always a bit further. But I think what I meant to say was, don't worry, because you see the ones where people, they make the target, then they double the target, and then they cancel the Kickstarter. And you go, what? And it's because the actual target that they needed to produce them is far away and not going to get hit. But I don't only need the smaller amount to produce them, but obviously, ideally, I'd like to cover the previously paid money that it was to get them made in the first place. But the bonus is that I have a very nice shop, so it's never like as stressful, because so long as I've got them into production, they're going to be in the shop afterwards, and then then I sell them to retailers and all that. So it's not like that's it. So if that was in a bubble and they were never getting produced again, the target would be a lot higher, if that makes sense. I realise I've totally rambled, but rambling about the wrong thing. So I think because it's this small informal setting, I always get a bit more honest, because obviously the posts, you have to just constantly be like, woo, woo, woo. It is good, but I am very stressed as well. I'm stressed by it. I'm stressed by all the random men that keep fixing things badly in my house. And I was kind of hoping to have covered that and then have a bit of money afterwards, because that's traditionally what my Kickstarters tend to do. They kind of pay for themselves, and then there's a bit afterwards, and then the little extra I get, I put into the next project. But it's not happening yet. I put the next project into the nope. Yeah, as Jill says, the little insights, and I like doing that. And again, afterwards, I've had these sort of not rants, conversations. I only think, oh, everyone's going to think I'm a loser. And like, no, it's because other people don't talk about it because you're not supposed to. Yeah, this happens to everyone, basically. But for whatever reason this time, the Kickstarter is being a lot slower than usual. And I've kind of put it down largely to Adepticon this weekend, because anytime I post anywhere, it's there for a few seconds and then it's kind of swamped. And I've said by a lot of times, because it is that episode of The Simpsons is my life, where Lisa is very disillusioned with the Malibu Stacy, because they kind of go like, I don't need to learn, I'm pretty and stuff. So she makes Lisa Lionheart that's about like not being that. And yeah, she finds the original creator of Malibu Stacy, and they make a more sensible doll, a bit like My Believable Female Miniatures. And they do all that. Then they release it, and there's all these girls, and they're like, "Yay, this is so cool!" And just as they get there, they wheel up. Malibu Stacy wheels up a brand new Malibu Stacy with a new hat, and yeah, they all go, "Oh, new Malibu Stacy! It's got a new hat!" And there's a bit of Lisa going, "I guess she can't beat big business." That's, that happens all the time, and that's pretty much what happened this weekend. Is it's kind of like building up all the hype to my Kickstarter, and then there's all the Adepticon news from Games Workshop going, "Woo!" Um, and yeah, then they've all been like, "Oh, you know what? I think I might buy a new hat. That Space Marine's got a new hat." But I'm hoping that will be sort of fizzled down sort of into next week. So we've still got a whole week left as well. So yeah, the elephant in the road, yes. So there's that. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of other cool projects. To be fair, there's other stuff I've looked at and gone, "Damn, that's cool." If I was a standard punter, I'd be torn between backing all these different things. But I think sometimes, yeah, look at the big one, the big Kickstarters, and they're like, "Have this free, have this free, have this free," and then people kind of expect it, and then I'm kind of like, "I'm sorry, I can't really just throw things at you, because then I'm more likely to go bust, and then nobody gets their things." So mine are always quite sensible, if you've noticed. Occasionally they go slightly too wild, but never enough that would damage Bad Squiddo, basically. As I am a veteran. I think this is the 11th Kickstarter now. So I think I've got the hang of it. Generally, I think I've got the hang of it by now. So yeah, sometimes with Kickstarter as well, it's just impossible to even gauge. But it's the first time that my vague plan, because and I'm quite good at guessing other people's Kickstarters as well. So I have bets with other people sometimes on what other people's Kickstarters will do, and I'm really good at it. I'm really good at gauging it. And this time I've been off with my own, and that's kind of knocked me a bit. Where I'm like, "Oh, this isn't what," because obviously there's still all these stretch goals. There's the two vampire hunters. There's two more freshly bitten vampires. There's the Batwoman. I need a cool name for her, actually. Batwoman. I'm sure there's something else. Do you remember her name here? And maybe a little. Oh, and the Necromancer, and maybe a little buddy for the Necromancer. So there's still like a chunk of stuff, but currently, even if I put every £500 as a stretch goal, they won't get unlocked. But obviously, I want them to be unlocked. So I'm not quite sure, because sometimes you see people just go, "Ah, we'll unlock it anyway." So that's why I don't put the unlock amounts, basically, because I tend to play it. So if it's a bit quieter, I'll put the unlocks a bit closer to each other, and if it's going really fast, I'll run out really quickly. I might space them, be like 1,000, 2,000. And it felt like it took forever yesterday to get those mummies unlocked. So a bit like, but I want all the rest unlocked. So I don't know whether to just start saying that it's 100 quid to unlock the next thing, just to get some momentum. Something I think I might have. I've realised as I'm saying this, I should totally not be talking about how I wish I'd done the Kickstarter better whilst it's still on, because I'm doing the psychological thing where now you're thinking, "Oh no, this sucks." But it's too late because I've started. I should have done that at the end instead of after my really enthusiastic talk about it. I am enthusiastic also about that butt. Look at that. I'm just on a ramble again. I don't have anyone to talk to. So, apart from Andy, Andy's had the rants all week. Just the inner workings. There's so much that goes on in the background, and as well as when it's on, you're just constantly having to just put all this energy into it, and it's when it hits the sort of brick wall, you're like, "Anyone, please, please." It was actually Andy that unlocked the mummies for me yesterday, because I was sort of doing that thing. I was like lying around on the sofa in a really awkward, pathetic way, going, "Never going to unlock the mummies. It's all over. Never going to unlock." And then Anduko went upstairs and increased his pledge. Thank you. So I'm just going to go to everyone's house now and do that, and just like loud going. But yeah, hopefully now that the weekend, well, by tomorrow, the weekend will be over. I'm aware that it's, we always have a payday in there as well, but the payday's right at the end. So even though when you back, it doesn't take the money out until the closing date, which will be after payday, there's definitely a psychological thing. So I'm expecting more of a surge next week. Generally what happens is I do this every Kickstarter, I go, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. Oh, it was ace. But yeah, it just seems to have been a bit, just a bit slower than I expected. And when it's all you doing it, then you're like, what have I done wrong? Is it this? Is it that? Maybe it's that. Like, sometimes it just does. And again, it's not sucking. It's on. Let me look now. It was around £5,000. With 7 days to go, it is good. But yeah, anyone who's run a Kickstarter will know this, that you just obsess. You just obsess. And it's staring at the number. You're like, oh, I haven't looked at the number in a while. So the longer I leave it, when I look, the number will have been bigger. And then you look and it's either the same or it's gone down. You're like, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So anyway, I really don't want you to think I'm in a bummer about it. It's just the stress, the stress of everything, basically. So where are we? So I'm going to have a little sort of scroll through it and just talk about some of my thoughts on the minis. So I've been doing some Scenic Bundles, which I think, I should have had them ready for launch. But there's just so many other things, obviously, that I've had to do. And I think that's where I get frustrated, because having to do absolutely everything. So I'm very glad that I don't sculpt, cast, or paint them. As I said before, I think people who do that are absolutely wild. Fenris isn't here to hear me say that this time, but when he watches it on the thing, I'll be like, yep. Having to do all that on top of it would be absolutely wild. Yeah, I think it's just that tired. You just get when I launched, I was so exhausted. And yeah, it was just that, like, no, please work. I'm so tired. But your brain's like, anytime you rest, it's like you could be promoting the Kickstarter. And then when it goes, you say if it's not flying, then your brain's going, it's because you didn't promote it. You need to be promoting. I'm like, I'm doing it. So, and then I go, oh no, people will unfollow me because I'm spamming. So they're going, did you know there's a Kickstarter on? So yeah. Yeah, Jeff Oakbaum. Yeah, bunch of companies will be the sculptor, the caster, and all this, and I just can't imagine having that on top of it. That's why we're always a bit weird, because we've got to do all that. And then yeah, comparing to the large Kickstarters where they have multiple people that their job is just to manage the Kickstarters. It would be the dream one day. Oh, genuinely didn't mean to put a bummer on anything. That is the joy of Sunday morning coffee. Now going, I hope there's nobody new now that's like, oh God, who's this woman? It's fine. I always rant about stuff. It's fine. It's fine. It's like the decompression chamber here. We're all friends. It's fine. But yeah, I love it. I actually really love it. I just I don't want to protest too much. That's what makes it better. Whereas if I was genuine, like, oh, maybe it is crap, that would suck. But I love these so much, and I can't wait for them to be out and to have a whole lot. So John's painting the sort of second lot. The later sculpts won't be painted for a while afterwards, because obviously they still need to get to the caster and be cast and all that sort of stuff. But I'm just sort of imagining them all out there on display. I've also got to redo the cabinets for Salute, and I've put them on. You remember my genius idea of putting all the display figures onto clear acrylic, and then I was worried about them falling off, and I put them down with these glue spot things, but they were the strongest glue spot things ever. So to get them off risks each model, and I've pretty much just got to crank them off with a knife. And I've been doing a bit of that this week to get some of the older figures so that I can use them in the photos, and each one's like, I can do this, I can do this. There may have been a few, not casualties, just bits where I've like chipped a bit, chipped a bit of paint. Luckily, it's been bits like a bit of hair where I've just gone, I'll just blob some, no one will see that, no one will see that. Yes, Mum was there when launched. She didn't get one glare, not at all. I'm going, is it launched yet? Is it launched yet? I'm going, it's like the NASA launch station. Oh yeah, this is good. The last Kickstarter I did, was it Damsels or the one before? Not Tree Pen. Tree Pen's its own world as Tree Pen. The last minis Kickstarter I did, I put a typo into the pledge bit, and the pledge section is the only bit that you can't change after launch. And somebody reported me for fraud. So in between all the Kickstarter, someone's reported me for fraud. I've got an email from Kickstarter saying if I don't reply within X, and I saw it late, that they would take the Kickstarter down. And there was me going, no, it was a typo. It was a typo. I've like posted everywhere saying ignore the typo. And luckily, I got a lovely human at Kickstarter who said, well, we can go in and edit it for you. Just tell me what you want it to edit to. But yeah, just so I was going to just need to reread it again, reread it again, reread it again, reread it again. Everything is on there correct. Yes, yes. So yeah, all those little bits. Going to report me. This is very stretched. I need to look at this. It's very nice, but this is very stretched. I need to shorten. So yeah, we're good. 50 minutes in, I told the fence man that I was in a meeting till 11, and he did say I might come back in the evening. So I'm hoping that at 11 the door doesn't go. There may be a there may be an Amazon. So if the door goes, I'll be like, what will it be? Do I answer it or not? What will it be? So let's kind of have a look through the Kickstarter. So I've added I added a bunch of scenics in, and there's some really good deals on there as well. It's worth looking. I think a problem with Kickstarter is a lot of people don't go back once they've backed it, which includes me, because I back it and forget basically. And because I didn't have absolutely everything sort of perfect at the start, you kind of go, oh yeah, I'll go in for the smaller thing, and then you never see what else there is. And I absolutely suck for this. One of the things under my screen here is Kingmaker that I backed for myself. 2 to 6 hours of historical Wars of the Roses board game fun. Yes. But yeah, I absolutely suck as a Kickstarter backer, which is why I have lots of patience when people mess it up. So when I'm there going, come on, fill in the pledge manager. I am pretty much the person that has to get chased in every Kickstarter that I back. You'd think I would know better, but I don't. I suck at it. So yeah, and I tend not to really look. Or you look a bit later, and then it's like how many updates to do, because each time you do an update, someone unbacks because they remember they've backed it and they're built and they're like, oh yeah, I'll get rid of it. So I want to keep them updated, keep it fresh, but also not spam people. So I kind of stick to 1 or 2 a day. That's it, I think. I've seen similar ones to me where they do like 5 a day, and I think, oh, that's a bit much. It's a bit much. So yeah, part of the if you haven't looked in a little while, definitely have a look, because I've added more to the main page as well. Scenic Bundles, and I've been photographing. I've been photographing the dragon fossil, which is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And taking some photos of that in scene's been really fun. And now I've got more figures. I can be having a full like ritual around it with these. Raising the dragon back. So that's partly why I'm going to be taking some fun pictures sort of around Monday. Jill will strive to change the ways. Thank you. I think that's it as well. So because I don't have automatic unlocks where you get them added to your pledge, you've got to physically add them. And because people don't check, it means that it doesn't go up in the middle unless you get new backers. And this time that's definitely been happening. Where it hasn't, because if everyone the idea is, say you unlock something for £8 and at X amount, say 20% of people then increase their pledge by £8, it sort of helps towards the next unlock. But when it doesn't happen, you're just kind of stuck there. Yeah, he said 2 to 6 days. I think 2 to 6 days is probably more accurate for me than 2 to 6 hours for King Mate. It's beautiful, by the way. It's so beautiful. My coffee just missed it when I spilled the coffee at the start. But yeah, there's gonna after salutes. That's when I might have a bit of brain, but not too after salute because then it's UK Games Expo. This is why I'm a wreck all the time. It's just all the things that kind of on this this so yeah, when it's not sort of going up. Also, in case people trail off, something else which was hard to post. Sometimes I post and I think I sound really horrible, but it's just that, you know, when you just read text about the Annie. It was if you're in for pick and mix. I haven't checked because I haven't done that sort of thing on a Kickstarter for a while. Someone alerted me earlier that it might be different to what I think, so change slightly. The pick and mix pledge is basically just get whatever you like, whether it's bundles, singles, you just want one figure, or you go, well, I don't really want that vampire bundle, but I'd like these 5 packs. Obviously, the bundles in the pledges are there to sort of convince you because you save more by doing that. But yeah, if you want anything from one figure for £4 to £200 of bundles and bits like that, then you put it in the pick and mix, but you change the total to what you want to back it for. And I think that's also been misunderstood the last sort of couple of Kickstarters, especially on this one, because I can tell, because there's so many people who've backed it for £4. And it's partly like that gets you in. If you haven't got the cash, that's, you know, that helps you because you're in and you're in the pledge manager afterwards. And again, that's fine. But I think it's people that don't understand. So if you do have the cash, it helps a lot if you change your total to what you're actually after, rather than the minimum, because it's just £4 because that's one figure on some of the add-ons. Basically, that's the minimum. So what I was saying was to to increase to that number, but then somebody, Chris earlier said that you can only, I'm making it more confusing. Basically, look at it, look at the thing. Say you've decided you want £98 of things, just make sure your pledge at the end of the thing is 98. If it tries to add £4 to it, then just increase by 94. But so the end number is 98. And I think that's Kickstarter changing what they normally do just to make it a little bit harder for everybody. And yeah, or even if you know, say for example, you want £98, but you've only going to have £50 by the time it takes the money out, just do that, and then you can add the rest in the pledge manager. But I think people are very comfortable adding things in the pledge manager afterwards because I'm so lovely. Because I never force. That's it. I never want to be like, you have to do this now, or the things won't exist. And because I go, you know, whatever works for you in your budget. But then that doesn't help me because I'm too nice. So I need that beforehand to do the unlock. And I'm sure I'm making absolutely no sense. You're like, what do I do? What do I do, Annie? Why are you so confusing? So yeah, just message me if you're not sure, basically. But it is because I never want to pressure anyone, and especially when, you know, we're all skin. Everyone is skin. So I never want to be like, you have to do it now. You have to do it now. It's like, yeah, you can add it in the pledge manager afterwards. But if you can now, please help me, please. Yeah, and I think it's not that people can't, it's that it's unclear via Kickstarter that that's what you do. So yeah, just message me if you don't know. It's fine. I don't know why I'm whispering. Maybe it's because the fence guy's going to come. I was going to go through the Kickstarter. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to skim because I wanted to just and yeah, if people have questions. I haven't really had any Kickstarter questions, I think. Hey, Fenris is here after I've been talking about him. I don't know what I was even going to talk about, to be fair. I was kind of just going to go through them, but that'd take me another hour. Just have a look. It's Ace. Just have a look. If you haven't seen it, I should have a link in this, but I don't, do I? Because I'm a fool. But just put it into Kickstarter. I'll look at any of my social posts because I've linked. And yeah, and then linking kills the algorithm as well because it goes, oh, a link. We don't want to show people that. And I'm like, That's why I was reduced to putting my face up on Twitter the other day. If you saw that, where I was like, come on, I need some interaction. I need some shares. And it was kind of like, hi, I'm a woman that does games. please retweet me and back my Kickstarter. Please, sad woman, look at my face. But it worked. Well, it worked. I got loads of retweets. I don't got any backs off it, but I did get a lot of follows. So there you go. But yeah, just have a look because I've got some mega pledges. And obviously, what I do, I'm all about the bundles. So the bigger the bundle, the more you save. So I've got pledge levels like this. Look at all them. All them. That's everything. And I've snuck in deals on. So there's different groups. So I've got like the witches, vampire hunters. So you don't have to get, say, like everything from the previous releases. But you can get, I've made little bundles basically. So like little witches, hunters, monsters, vampires. And then there's little bundles, little animal bundles. And obviously, all of these graphics take me a long time. Well, not a long time because I'm a bit of a pro, but you know what I mean. It's just everything you see has got an Annie working furiously behind it. So yeah, all the undead animals there, all them together. And the scenics, I've put bundles like I did with the Definitely Not Damsels Kickstarter, but they're smaller because the damsels ones were all around sort of £100, and that's quite a bit. So these are a bit smaller. So you get like, and they're themed towards like types of people. Again, you can't see it the best, but you can get a gist. So that's the scientist. So that kind of builds you a lab and a little exploring zone. And we've got like the witch. So we've got the witch's house and the swamp and all the little froggies that hang around. I won't show you it all because they're obviously it'll take me forever. I added the dragon fossil in and a discount to normally getting it. A nice scale picture there. I'm going to put some more pictures up as well. And I'm really looking forward to Monday photographing these ones. I think I've mentioned that a few times because it's ace. I love seeing them in it's definite doll's house sort of thing where I'm like, oh, look at them. Would you like to cast a spell? I think I will. And then next door knock on my door and go, shh. I think we're friends again now, by the way, in my next door office, after they shushed me. Apart from Mum was in them being rude to them, so they probably hate me again now. Don't know if Mum's still here. She might gone. What else I have to show you? It's basically just to have another look because there's all the thingies. Unlocked, we've got Turkey Man. We are very close to unlocking the we got Turkey Man and Mummies are unlocked. I haven't updated the graphic because I'm not at work, but I'll do that tomorrow. So I've got a little note saying it's unlocked. Vampigs. Fenris says Lila's gone to check who else died. I've got a family chat thing, and Mum, I don't know if any of you have seen the Peter Kay. It's a very old Peter Kay sketch, and he's talking about his mum or his nan or something, going, "Guess who's dead? You'll never guess." That's Mum. Poor Mum did that in the family chat this morning, with everyone. There she is, with everyone going, "Who? You know, this tenuous link. No. You met them once when you were 7. Sorry, Lil. Guess who's dead? Poor Mum. So good. Right. So Vampigs are next. Then the Vampire Hunters. So I'll show you again in case you missed the start. So this is the extra one with Shane and permission to show a work in progress. Oh yeah, and I took a nice picture of them all with banana for scale as well. That's the effort we go to here. Jill says my mum does that, just not sympathetically. Who? We got. I'll show you again this vampire hunter. So she's going to have a big hat. A big hat on top of there. Again, you can't fully see, but she's wicked. And next to her, oh, there we go. Also know how to hang washing. Well, it was all across my garden when we got back. All across the garden. I think it might have just been very windy as well. I know you don't. Mum doesn't like my pegs. my nice eco pegs Mum's not a fan of. So we got Batwoman. There's obviously a grave there, the old classic grave hop. It's good. So we got loads. We've got loads coming out. I'm spamming the forums, as always. And as always, though you're very trained by now, hey, my eco pegs are wicked. They withstand hurricanes, apparently. They are the best pegs. I mean, I should have my side thing selling stuff, like the guys on TikTok with the rotating phones. Just be selling pegs and Kingmaker. But the what were we at? Brain. Do you hate it when you go to hang up washing outside and the peg explodes because the plastic has got brittle? No more with eco pegs from fully recycled plastic and no shatter guarantee. Mum don't like them though. They never shatter because I never bring pegs in from outside. Never. Why would you do that? Why would I ever remember to do that? So these pegs last a lifetime and are eco-friendly. You can buy them with my link. No, you can't really. Eco pegs, that's where it's at. What happens to those wooden pegs? It's basically like that. That's what they are. It's the same thing, but they can withstand hurricanes, but not Lil. Yeah, Batwoman is going to be the coolest. I need to vaguely come up with a price for her because I have to guess a lot of the prices. That's another thing with Kickstarters. A lot of people put what the RRP is, and I'm never entirely sure what the RRP is. So I kind of make a guess. Some are probably what they're going to end up as, but I don't like doing the discounty bit because I do the discounts with the bundles so that you go for an amount. But when I'm guessing some of them, I'll never. I think I have once. Yes, the hero dogs I overguessed because they ended up being absolutely teeny. So I did lower them in the pledge manager because I'm nice like that. But yeah, I tend to sort of underguess. So there's some, especially with the bigger things. It's like I can't say exactly what it's going to be because I can't do the exact costing with the mold makers till we have production molds made. There's another fact of the day. We can have, again, a sort of rough guess based on similar size and weight of other figures. But until then, we're not entirely sure. So I'll do a guess, and it's usually a lower guess rather than lower or the same. I mean, basically, it's not going to be higher. So I'll look at that vampire, and then when it does come out, you'll go, wow, I'm glad I backed the Kickstarter because it is now more money. There you go. It's over an hour again, but there's still people here. So what I will be doing is some more spamming, where I'm posting on some of the forums. So if you're on there, please just put, wow, this looks great. Forums, I'm one of the few people who still do promote on forums because I think it's worth it. You tend to get views but not replies, and again, because of all like the Depticon news and stuff, they're just like falling down. So it's the bumps that I'm after, so they get to the top, so you'll see them. But you get a lot of views. The main ones I've just kind of given up with the deader forums, and TMP can expletive can quote the builder doing the things. Yeah, anywhere, especially your local groups, because that's where it's harder for me to infiltrate and be like, hello, fellow gang, I post here all the time. I'm a member of this community. For Kickstarter. Yeah, and Facebook again, so you just get shunned out of everywhere going, go away with your Kickstarter, we don't want to hear about it. I'm like, but how are people gonna know? So yeah. So yeah, hello fellow kids. I am part of this community. I think I've said on Twitter before that I'm pretty much all of the wargaming groups on Facebook. I have them all muted because they depress me because there's usually some weird drama going on. But then when there's a fun drama and I'll go, where is it? Someone's kicking off. And I go, no, I'm not a member. And it's like the same 5 people that moderate most of these groups. And I think now they used to they know something's kicking off because they've been moderating it. And then it's like, member request, Annie. I just happen to be really into Malifaux right now. And I'll never post. Like, what's going on? What's going on? He said what? He said what? Anyway. I mean, no, I do not live for any drama whatsoever. None at all. So yeah, have a look at the Kickstarter. Again, don't take it personally. It's never about you lot because you lot are ace. It's more my sort of frustration that I can't get more, because the idea of Kickstarter is that reaching the more people. And so far on this, it tells you how many people have never backed Kickstarter before. And I usually get a few. And so far it's 0. So I've not convinced anyone to join Kickstarter with this so far, which I'm like, no, I like getting some people and going, congratulations on your first Kickstarter, you started off correctly. Also, something that made a big difference, I was looking at, oh yeah, Hate, they're a wicked group, I'm going there, they're nice. What was I going to do? Brain. That was a good point. There was. Come on. What was I saying? What was I saying? We got. Yeah, I appreciate you, Daniel. Don't worry. No, I because I chat to you direct on these, on these sort of streams, and if I say things aren't selling as much, I know people then feel like a personal obligation. I'm like, no. By being here, you do enough. Just by supporting and all that sort of stuff. I never want anyone to personally feel guilty. Is what I mean. That to not be like, oh no, I can't. I've got to sell my cat to back out. Like, it's fine. And again, that's probably why I don't have mega Kickstarters, because everyone else is like, sell your cat, sell your nan, do it. You'll never get the chance ever again. Yeah, the hate group. What is it? Hackney something. So yeah, a group that's called Hate is actually really lovely people, and they're all super inclusive as well. Also, why don't you have a cat? Or me, or anyone. If I had a cat, it'd be bopping pigs all day. Going, oh, Dennis, I used to feel a personal obligation. We're like, I'm poor and want to have food. And I want you to have food as well. I never want someone to, so you get the food. And yeah, you're here and you post and all this sort of stuff. And that's what I mean. Oh, yeah, you have a cat. Sell all your guinea pigs. I'm going to sell mine. I'm going to sell them when I take them to the vet on Wednesday. And it's like taking an old car to the garage, and I get the like. Last time I took Dave, they put a thermometer up his bum, so I think once trying to get him into that crate is going to either be really difficult or really easy. Hackney area tabletop enthusiasts, that's the one. I was saying something all smart and cool. I forgot what it is. Peers used to feel a personal obligation to GW. That's how they get you though, because that's it. They have that's one of the frustrations I have, is that they're a massive, massive evil corporation, but they have lots of really nice people working there. So they're having that front of, because you think, all I want to support, I won't name any names because that's not fair, but, I want to support this person that I follow on Twitter that's a TV presenter or a sculptor or a writer or something, because they're all ace. And that's how they get you with that, like, that personal sort of front. And yeah, those people are ace. And that's like with any big company, you have really lovely people there, but as a corporation, I say evil, there's no, it's because PLC, it's the nature of a PLC. And as soon as you become a PLC, it is entirely everything driven by profit. So even with the best intentions and stuff, everything has to be about profit. But yeah, by having that lovely front thingy of lovely, absolutely lovely people there as well. There's people with rats. I know. I like the idea of rats, but struggle to keep my pigs going at the moment. I've got my little mice. The little mice are cool, to be fair. They're on a little pile, and they're the minimum maintenance. They just kind of exist, and I throw seed at them, and then they go. They're like, can't move, and you see it, can't move. So yes, I think I was sort of leaving, I was going to say. But yeah, basically just if you see it about, spam it, reply, say it's cool. Shares on Facebook are good, but it's this weird thing with Facebook. If you just share it, nobody sees it. So you have to share it and say something with the share, like, yeah, this is cool, this is ace. Oh, I've backed this. You should check this out. Any monotonous sort of statement will help. I'll be putting more cool pictures up. I don't know what I'll do this afternoon, apart from fear the fence man, just sort of turning up at any points as he feels like it. The streamers made me like my hair because I wasn't sure, but you get to do that. Look, whee! Oh, Daniel, which space for any pet? Instead, we'll hug a stuffed toy and watch floofy videos. Get a Dunkel Skog. The it's not Dunkel, is it? Junkel Skog from IKEA. Absolutely love it. Best to spoon in or spoon it because it's you go like that. You get a good spoon. And I like that I've got my big version, and then Dave Pig's got his little ratty, which is like his little rat version. I've got my big ratty. That's the one, Jungle Skog. Oh God, Katie with the puns. So I might do some painting this afternoon. We'll see. I don't know if I'm just going to make the turkey man look even more horrific. But I'll at least ink him. Andy wants to paint one. I've got two, so I'm going to give one to Andy so I can paint that. The butt. Oh yeah, the guinea pigs love the old rats from IKEA. So Dave came with one, and then the rest kind of assimilated, and so there's always a few ratties in the pen, and he's always lying on it. It's like a good chin rest. Bless him. So yeah, guinea pig fans, go check out the Van Pigs. So they're going to the caster next week. So I don't know if I'll get metal before the end of the Kickstarter. I might guilt them into doing it, as I do with everything. Guilt them into things, like I did nag them to get me these, but it worked. And then you can see them in sort of clearer pics and stuff. I'm going to go because I'm at Ramble stage. Just wanted to end it on an up because I know I started with a big rant. I was like, oh, my life is stressful. But I am very, very grateful for the people back in. I just wanted to make it a bit clear because I've seen before people say, well, they made the target. Why are they stressed about it? I'm like, well, the target isn't really the target. And it comes across greedy sometimes as well because you're like, come on, keep backing. Like, but you've done the target. And yeah, and I like after a Kickstarter, someone will go, oh, it's great, you've got all this cash. I'm like, no, I haven't. It's all gone. It's gone the next day. As soon as I've got it, it's gone. It's a South Park meme, and it's gone. So it'll go to casters again. Because I did want some extra to help with the community miniatures, because even though the money was for that's kind of, because it's been so late, that pool's kind of been depleted, so I was kind of wanting a little bit of extra. But don't worry, that will be happening too. I'm talking too much. Stop telling them things, Annie. We got Hope Kickstarter, blasts, great guns, my bedding and fence. Yeah, all that stuff. There is, and that's it with the small. You'll see it with other companies as well, small companies, where that something in your life happens and then that affects the business because you don't have enough of yourself to sort of throw around, but it's all good, and I am in a positive mood, and yeah, it's ace, and I really appreciate. Thanks everyone who has backed. Just have a little look if there might be some unlocks that you've not seen, some places to spam the things. And we're nearly, there's nearly salute as well. Nearly salute. Yeah, I feel there's something that I know I should mention and haven't, but I'm just looking around. Avocado, maybe. Avocados and avocadons. Yeah, it's just me going, right. I will see you all. Thank you very much. I'll probably do some stream time in the week as well, because spamming, innit? Spamming. So I'll be doing something, no doubt, and I might do another show off of these figures so that you can see them properly as well, and all that. So yes, thank you very much. Thanks for coming along. Have a awesome rest of the day. And yeah. Thank you. Bye.